point me to the stage, and you did what God brought on your heart that night. And it was amazing when you look back at where we came from and how did we get to this place of, so we want a better move, we want a better word, we want a better world, but we don't want to participate to get it. We always want somebody else to be responsible for our lives, and the kingdom message will tell you, and Paul and all of them will tell you in the New Testament, seek out your own salvation. In other words, this is up to you now. You decide how far, how deep, how high, how wide, where do you want to go into the realms of his spirit? How far do you want to go? I guess a lot of people have forgotten, and because we've heard it 1,000 times in the churches, that the enemy's been defeated. The enemy was the bad ideas and the bad beliefs and the bad preaching and the bad teaching, but we still have an enemy. Paul says we still have an enemy. When he talked to Timothy with his first letter, he says, let me tell you, we still have an enemy. But the enemy he talked about was the men that were coming to the church that was preaching fantasies and make-believes and drawing people off from the right or the left. And Paul says something so simple. You can't do this in politics, but we're either right or we're left. That's not the Bible. The Bible says stay in the center. Stay in the center. And Paul tells Timothy, when you go out to minister, get them back to the center. Don't let them be too far to the right or too far to the left, which is easy to do as a human being because we love fantasy stories. That's why we have 50,000 things on television that you still can't watch. I mean, I've got 1,000 channels, and you just sit there for an hour. Nope, 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 nope. You wonder, who watches some of that stuff? I mean, it's just silly as can be. But our world always drags you away from the center because that's where true life is. To not be an extreme on one side or the other. And if you follow any kind of politics, you realize the problems in politics is we're always how far left they are or how far right they are. Nobody ever talks about the folks in between. They're the ones who keep it together. They're the ones who make it work. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a country. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a church. Amen. But God always finds someone who, and I don't know how to say this without, matures enough, has been through enough, have seen enough, have witnessed enough to realize, I want to get back. I want to get back to that center point. I want to be able to know, what would Paul say? I want to know the resurrection power of Jesus Christ. I'm going, you want to know? Well, he was wanting not to just know it. He was wanting to feel it. He was wanting to live in that power of that resurrection Christ, that power of resurrection. That's not get up out of this ground and leave. That's get up out of this ground and live. And when you begin to realize what Paul was looking for, and it took him his whole ministry. He does